Ambe Steels, J Bancha, Diko Bancha. Pentagon International College, Tinkune, Kathmandu, where excellence prevails. Real, Jamghar Jahan, real party pack Tyahan.
Proud to be associated with Kantipur News.
The day is looking at a major political development as the Supreme Court is set to deliver its verdict today on a series of controversial constitutional appointments made by Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli during his previous tenure. These include 32 officials appointed on March 5th and 20 more on June 24 of 2021, covering key positions such as the Commission for the Investigation of Abuse of Authority. Meanwhile, Sudur Pashchim province has passed its budget for the upcoming fiscal year, which outlines development priorities and administrative spending as the province moves forward with its financial planning. These and more stories today in Kantipur News. Good evening, I'm Sarah Sapsanamma. Let's begin with the headlines of the hour. State Affairs and Good Governance Committee decides to formally request the Speaker to establish a high-level parliamentary committee to probe into the alleged manipulation of Civil Service Bill. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, speaking at a silent event, Financing for Development in Sevilla, calls for multilateralism, saying poverty, climate change are common issues of present time. The Dalai Lama confirms he will have a successor after his death, adds no one has the authority to interfere. China says successor must be approved by the central government. Nepali national women's football team facing Sri Lanka in the AFC Women's Asian Cup qualifiers. The match currently underway. The State Affairs and Good Governance Committee has decided to formally request the Speaker of the House of Representatives to establish a high-level parliamentary investigation committee to look into the alleged manipulation of the Federal Civil Service Bill. In a meeting that lasted over 4 hours earlier today, the committee decided to urge the Speaker to investigate changes related to the cooling-off period provision in the bill. It also resolved to request the National Assembly to amend Clause 43 of the report in accordance with the committee's original intent regarding the cooling-off period. Previously, lawmakers had expressed strong objections, claiming that the bill was passed by the lower house in violation of a prior agreement made in the committee alleging fraudulent alterations. During the meeting, CPN UML demanded the resignation of committee chairperson Ramhari Khatiwada. Nepali Congress and CPN Maoist Center lawmakers called for the formation of a high-level investigation committee. They emphasized that those involved in such fraudulent acts in the lawmaking process must be held accountable and that the bill must be corrected through the National Assembly. Originally, there had been consensus to include a 2-year cooling-off period in the bill, but later, the insertion of the word "except" as a separate sub-clause made the bill controversial. CPN lawmaker Padamgiri condemned the move, calling it shameful and disgraceful, and demanded that both the committee chairperson and the secretary resign. He stated that blaming junior staff like clerks or assistants was not acceptable, since it was the responsibility of the chair and the secretary to ensure the integrity of the final report.
दुई वर्षसम्म कुलिङ पिरियड रहने भनेर यही समितिले एक मतले पारित गरेको। यो समितिले यो गरेको कुरा सबैका बीचमा छर्लङ्ग छ। यो बैठकमा चाहिँ एक मतका साथ पारित भएको विषय यही समितिको प्रतिवेदनमा चाहिँ माननीय सभापति ज्यू र सचिवज्यूले हस्ताक्षर गरेको प्रतिवेदनमा फरक ढंगले संसदमा पेश भयो र सिंगो यो समितिलाई गुमराहमा राख्ने काम भयो। र वास्तवमा भन्ने हो भने यो सार्वभौम संसदको यो समितिलाई यस प्रकारले उपहास गरियो भन्ने लाग्दछ। नेपालको संसदीय इतिहासमा यो सबैभन्दा लज्जाजनक अवस्था हो, घिनलाग्दो अवस्था हो। र जनप्रतिनिधिहरू, सार्वभौम जनप्रतिनिधिहरूले यो हदसम्मको काम गर्छन् भन्ने कुरा यो कल्पना पनि गर्न नसकिने विषय हो। मैले के आग्रह चाहिँ गर्न चाहन्छु भनेदेखि माननीय सभापतिज्यू, हामीले देख्ने भनेको प्रतिवेदनमा माननीय सभापतिको र सचिवज्यूको हस्ताक्षर छ। त्यसका पछाडि कोले के भन्यो, के गर्यो त्यो तपाईले जान्ने कुरा हो। त समितिले गरेको निर्णय जस्ताको तस्तै उतारेर संसदमा पठाउने दायित्व सभापति र सचिवज्यूको हो। यसमा कुन मन्त्रीले के गर्नुभयो, कुन सचिवले के गर्नुभयो, कुन खर्दाले के गर्नुभयो, कुन सुब्बाले के गर्नुभयो हामी जान्दैनौँ। त्यसको लागि विस्तृतमा हामी छानबिन गरौँला, अध्ययन गरौँला जहाँ दोषी छन् त्यसलाई कारबाहीको विषय पनि भोलि बनाउला। सिङ्गो यो कानुन निर्माणको प्रक्रियामा चाहिँ यस्ता भएका कमी कमजोरीहरूलाई सच्याउनका लागि र भविष्यमा यस्ता समस्या नदोहोरिनका निम्ति गर्नुपर्ने अध्ययनहरू कस्तो हुन सक्छ त्यस विषयमा पनि हामी समितिमा छलफल गरौँला। तर यति गम्भीर प्रकारको घटना घट्यो कि महिनौँ दिनसम्म लगाएर चाहिँ बनाएको के अरे जुन निर्णय छ भएको निर्णय छ त्यसलाई लत्याएर फरक ढङ्गले चाहिँ प्रतिवेदन बनाउने कुरामा सभापतिजी र सचिवको दस्तखत हुनु र उहाँहरूले हामीले चाहिँ अरूबाट मन्त्रालयबाट जे आयो त्यसैमा विश्वासको आधारमा हामीले दस्तखत गरेर पठायौँ भनेर भन्ने जस्तो कुरा गैर जिम्मेवार कुरा तपाईँहरूको मुखबाट आउनु यो शोभनीय कुरा होइन। त्यस कारणले म फेरि भन्न चाहन्छु नैतिकताको हिसाबले यहाँहरूले यो समितिको नेतृत्व दिन मिल्दैन। यहाँ दुईटाले यो विषयलाई छानबिन गर्नका निम्ति र कारबाहीको प्रक्रिया अगाडि बढाउनका लागि माननीय सभापतिज्यूले मार्ग प्रशस्त गरिदिनुपर्छ। सचिवज्यू पनि नैतिक हिसाबले यसको सचिवको रूपमा रहन मिल्दैन। यहाँ पनि यसको नैतिक जिम्मेवारी लिनुपर्छ। थप यसको विस्तृतमा अध्ययन भए पछाडि जहाँ जहाँ कमी कमजोरी गरेको छ त्यो कारबाहीको विषय भोलिका दिनमा बन्नुपर्छ। होइन भने नेपालको संसदीय इतिहासमा यो एउटा कालो धब्बा हो।
Nepali Congress lawmakers Hriday Ram Thani, Dilendra Badu and Ishwari Neupane also called for a parliamentary investigation and demanded the restoration of the agreed cooling-off period through amendments in the National Assembly. Lawmaker Hriday Ram Thani stated this was not a minor issue but a deliberate act by powerful individuals and hence required a strong parliamentary probe. Lawmakers from CPN Mavi Centre and Unified Socialists demanded that the investigation also include the committee chair. Maoist lawmaker Ritraj Pandey said the incident amounted to betrayal of the committee's work and apologized to the public on behalf of the party. Lawmaker Durga Rai called it a conspiracy that must be investigated. Several lawmakers also expressed anger at civil servants, accusing them of assisting in dishonest acts. The committee also took statements from Parliamentary Secretariat staff regarding the matter. Acting Prime Minister Prakash Man Singh has stated that an investigation will be launched regarding irregularities in the Civil Service Bill. While inaugurating the new building of Kageshwari Manohara Municipality in Kathmandu, Singh, who is also the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Urban Development, announced that those involved in manipulating the bill will be investigated. He emphasized that anyone involved, regardless of their political affiliation, will face action after proper investigation.
कर्मचारीहरूको चाहिँ जुन विधेयक हो त्यसमा चाहिँ अहिले चाहिँ के तलमाथि भएको कुरा आइरहेको छ त्यसकोमा पनि छानबिन हुन्छ। यो दोषी त कोही पनि के हो भन्दाखेरि फलानो यो चाहिँ पार्टीको फलानो नेताको नजिक हुँदैमा यो चाहिँ के छ भन्दाखेरि गर्नुहुने कामलाई चाहिँ त्यो व्यक्तिहरूलाई चाहिँ के हो भन्दाखेरि त्यसै चाहिँ राहत कसरी चाहिँ दिन सक्ला।
For the construction of the municipality building, the District Coordination Committee provided 100 million Nepali rupees in funding and an additional 100 million was taken as loan from the Town Development Fund, and the municipality itself raised 170 million from internal sources. The total cost of constructing the new municipal building amounts to approximately 395.5 million Nepali rupees. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has stressed the need for inclusive multilateralism to address today's pressing global challenges, including poverty, hunger, climate change and inequality. Speaking at a silent event in Spain on finance for development, the Prime Minister highlighted that these are shared concerns and require a united, cooperative approach.
Troubles, poverty, hunger, climate issues, crises, different things. And we have to finalize first to think about multilateralism, whether these issues, these problems which the people are facing in the earth, in the planet, are common issues or not. And if we have to address these common issues, then there must be multilateralism. Multilateralism works for all, and anti-multilateralism works for some, few, and for not for all. So multilateralism must be, as we discussed yesterday and today, days. And we drew conclusions, important conclusions. Now we have to materialize and practice these conclusions to adopt and accept multilateralism and make multilateralism effective. So in my opinion, multilateralism is a theory to work and a practice to work for all, for the children, for the backward countries, for the needful people, for backward communities, for the youths, for the women, and for the all nations. And no one should be left behind.
Prime Minister Oli emphasized that multilateralism must benefit all nations, especially those that are developing or marginalized. Particular attention, he said, must be given to children, women and disadvantaged communities. Only a truly inclusive global effort can ensure that no one is left behind, according to the Prime Minister. He also raised concerns about growing power imbalances, cautioning that the global system must not allow larger nations to dominate at the expense of smaller ones. The focus, he noted, should be on equitable development rather than sheer economic or population size. Looking ahead, he identified job creation as a key national priority for 2025. The government is planning to expand apprenticeship and vocational training programs aimed at empowering youth and integrating them into the development process. Prime Minister Oli further called on development partners and donor agencies to align their support with national priorities. All aid, he said, should be rooted through transparent, government-managed budgetary systems to ensure accountability and efficiency. The Prime Minister reaffirmed his government's responsibility towards sustainable development and urged global partners to work in the same spirit of cooperation and trust. It is time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
The question is, who should take responsibility for irregularities in cooling off period? Your options are A, committee's chairperson, B, government, C, civil servants, D, no comment. Visit www.kantipurtv.com or ekantipur.com to share your opinion with us. Welcome back. The Supreme Court is set to deliver its verdict today on whether the appointment of 52 officials to constitutional commissions is constitutionally valid or not. All justices of the Supreme Court's constitutional bench are engaged in discussions to reach a decision on the matter. The 5-member constitutional bench responsible for delivering the verdict comprises Chief Justice Prakash Man Singh Raut and Justices Sapana Pradhan Malla, Manoj Kumar Sharma, Kumar Chudal and Nahakul Subedi. Although the hearings in this case, pending for 4.5 years, concluded on May 15th, and a verdict was initially scheduled for June 10th, insufficient discussion among the justices led to the rescheduling of the decision for today. The Constitutional Bench is set to deliver a joint verdict on 15 writ petitions filed against 2 rounds of appointments, 32 officials in the first round and 20 in the second in the year 2021, made under laws amended via ordinance. The case was repeatedly postponed and marked as not ready for hearing, but the bench began formal hearings at the end of Nepali month of Magh. At the time of both appointments, the government led by KP Sharma Oli had amended the Constitutional Council Act via ordinance to influence the recommendation process in its favor. The original provision required a quorum of 5 out of 6 council members, with decisions passed by a majority of that quorum. The ordinance changed the law to define a quorum as a majority of the total members, including the chairperson, and allowed recommendations to be made by the majority of those present, including the chairperson. India's renowned audio wearable brand Bose has announced its official entry into the Nepalese market. Although the brand had already been selling products in Nepal, the formal announcement of its arrival was made only on Tuesday. The launch was marked by the official unveiling of the Nirvana series. According to the company, this premium line includes high-performance earphones and earbuds equipped with active noise cancellation and will now be available through major online and offline retail platforms across Nepal. Co-founder and Chief Marketing Officer of Bose, Aman Gupta, stated that Nepal has always held a special place for the company. With the launch of the premium Nirvana series, he expressed Bose's commitment to delivering high-quality, design-driven audio experiences that cater to the demands of today's modern lifestyle. That is all for the moment. Our colleague Pushma Kesi will join you shortly with Nepali News at 7 p.m. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.